All right, welcome back to another thrilling episode of Turn the Page. This is your host, Tony Stevens Star Power. I know you haven't forgotten about me, and you haven't forgotten about my adorable sidekick, Ronnie Shanks, and our good, fun-loving Ghostman McClay himself, back again to talk about several issues that you may or may not know are coming, and you may or may not care about. Well, at least talk about them. Then you're going to be completely on the page because we haven't turned the page on you yet. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your family and your grandmother, and be thankful this season. That is going to be the premise of our coming episode is Thanksgiving and how to be thankful for everything that we are blessed with. And that is especially important in this year of perpetual Friday the 13th. But until we get too deep into that, let's go ahead and let's jump on some topics. First off, there's a big deal going on about the argument between a digital release of movies versus actually seeing movies in the theaters. Now, the next one that's up on the chopping block, I do believe, is Wonder Woman 1984. So how do each of you feel? We'll go ahead and start with you, McClay. And how do you feel about purchasing that full movie to watch it at home versus actually letting it receive an opening day?
Well, I mean, it's not about me letting it receive an opening day. Personally, and this is just me, I could watch it on DVD. I can watch it as a digital download. My TV's big enough. Plus, I could watch it in VR and have a virtual theater experience with some friends using big screen. But as far as the theater business, I think it's bad overall. I understand and I appreciate them being cautious. But also, I think for the most part, it's about making money for them. It's not about people's safety. It's like they don't feel like if they released it now, that it would make as much money if they released it later. And they're probably right about that. So, I mean, I guess it's a good business decision. But the theaters, it's not good for theaters. So I'm kind of worried about that.
Very true. How do you feel about that, Ronnie?
Well, personally, I'm all for the digital movement just because it's really expensive to go to movie theaters nowadays. That and with pandemic after pandemic, I mean, you just don't really know. But however, at the same time, I'm torn because I really miss going to the theater. I mean, yeah, it costs a lot of money, but I mean, I loved going there with legions of fans, seeing on opening day stuff like Star Wars or Endgame. I mean, seeing Endgame in theaters, I mean, that was just an experience I'll never forget, especially when Cap grabbed Mjolnir and used
Right.
it that first time. I mean, that was just surreal. I mean, everybody in the audience was freaking out. It was really cool. But at the same time, I'm also not going to miss all the people on their cell phones. And,
I don't miss all the people.
Talking about, yeah, I'm not going to miss, I want to miss the fans, but I'm not going to miss the people.
Now, y'all both bring up an interesting point of money, monetary income, not only for the company, but Ronnie hit on the subject of monetary output as far as us going to see these movies in the theaters. Now, this would bring up the interesting notion of, is this going to be like Mulan? When Mulan was released, you had to buy this for $30. Now, that versus a $7 movie ticket, that is exponentially more money to do that. Now, of course, you can have watch parties and that sort of thing, have people chip in, save the money. But obviously one person versus everyone else is going to own that digital copy. Whereas going to the movie theater, yes, if you buy your ticket for yourself, your significant other, some candy, some popcorn, whatnot, and then go sit down in the theater, you have probably spent about $30. So
especially if you have kids and you're taking some family members with you, I mean that price can get up to 100.
Right. No, that's very true. If nobody else is chipping in and you're just floating the whole boat, then yeah, it can get expensive. But just for the purchase of a movie, and that we're talking about there with Mulan, at least, it wasn't rentable. It was just you get the movie, $30. You have it. You watch
And does that
it.
include the monthly for the Disney Plus, like that
No,
$30
I
figure?
think you also had to be a Disney Plus subscriber as well.
You did.
So it's
So,
$30 on top of that.
Yeah,
right. So then we're
but
looking at this being: are we going to be subjected to HBO Max? Are we going to have some other subscription to the DCU? Or is it just coming straight to Amazon Prime and what other movie networks we have, like the PlayStation Store or something of that nature? And if so, is there a rental fee or is there a full purchase fee so that they make sure they don't lose their money? These are all, how they approach this is going to be more significant, in my opinion, than digital versus real.
yeah,
Oh yeah, it's much more subtle kind of thing, and everyone's trying to see what's going to work for them. And this is kind of unprecedented. And they were probably going to go this route eventually anyway, but they're being forced to like hurry up and figure out a business model for this. And so you're going to see lots of different versions of it. Like in the Mulan, $30 a pop is one, and I think what was it a Trolls movie was one of the first experiments with this. But there's lots of different like digital like format like distribution options out there, and they're just trying to figure out what's gonna work for them and work for you. The only one that seems to be left out in the cold is the theaters themselves.
Right. The box office. So the box office, and then they'd have to come up with a new way of counting how successful a movie is versus box office review says that we made this amount of money on opening weekend, so therefore it is successful. Now it would be an actual honest review of how much money is actually spent on these things after the fact, because we all know that a movie doesn't stop making money after it leaves box office. It's going to DVD, Blu-ray, 4D, HK, whatever.
Well, there's merchandising, there's all sorts of ways to make money.
So that movie continues to make money long after the fact, especially with some of these where, like you said, merchandising, they do have deals with companies, Marvel with Hasbro, DC with whoever makes their stuff at the time.
Whoever makes DC stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
right
it
now
kind of flip-flops around. So right now, McFarlane's doing a lot of it. They have their own
McFarlane
production.
and Spin Toys.
Yeah.
So it's licensed out.
They have a strange, DC just always has had a strange business model of we don't have to really be consistent. Consistency isn't key. And I think they live to see the fruits of that business model. But speaking of which, there are several movies that are still being talked about. So the company in and of itself, the business in and of itself isn't slowing down. You got Keanu Reeves has recently confirmed that they are making a Constantine Part 2. How do you feel about that?
I haven't seen the first, but I like Keanu Reeves and I like the character Constantine. I think this was a long time ago when the first one came out, but I think
you were stuck in a prison camp or something?
Yeah, I was. Okay. Anyway, I was off put by Keanu Reeves's dark hair. Like I was like, well, he's not blonde, then I'm not watching that.
Well, it's definitely a good movie. We'll have to watch it sometime.
I'm sure I've heard good things, and I like Keanu Reeves, and I guess I have to watch the first one now.
You do.
So I'm excited.
That is mandatory. I'm going to give you that as homework. How do you feel about it, Ronnie?
Me? Well, it wasn't Keanu. It was Peter Stormare that confirmed it. The guy that played Lucifer.
Okay.
But I think I'm actually kind of excited. Just because I highly enjoyed it and I wanted to see a sequel to it, even though it wasn't really faithful to the comics, but at the same time, we already got a Constantine that's really faithful to the comics in the Arrowverse. And he's got
blonde hair.
Yeah, blonde hair. He's doing a great job, but I really want to see that movie version as well. Really, 2020's been such a crazy year. I just kind of I really want a superhero movie now. And New Mutants did not count. I want a superhero movie.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while. I
Tony
think
died.
that the Marvel platform that they took, of course, going into this, they said before all of this brouhaha happened with COVID and everything, they said, hey, we're taking a long span of time off. There's not going to be a whole lot of releases, giving people a break from the constant influx of Marvel movies. But after this year, I think that people notice what kind of withdrawals they're going through from that type of entertainment.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we floated conspiracy theories that Marvel knew this was going to happen, and so they planned for it. You know, I mean, of course, that's not true. But
I know they said that WandaVision was supposed to drop this year, but it's actually dropping January 15th now.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed in that news. WandaVision is one of my most anticipated Marvel TV shows.
Me too.
Yeah, and also that one and Loki they definitely have me intrigued. I'm definitely Winter Soldier and Falcon do their thing. That's going to be the fun, patriotic type real superhero stuff. But
I feel that will be the action
mind benders.
Yeah.
I want to see the mind benders that are going to be Wanda Maximoff and Loki himself. So those two I'm really excited about. A lot of the other ones, it's like I'm not. To be honest, even their movies that they have slated coming up with the Eternals. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but at the same time, before Guardians of the Galaxy was released, I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, because at the time I was like, well, yeah, it's kind of a funny recent thing in comics with the Annihilation storyline. Okay. And then they attached James Gunn to it, and it was like, okay. And then I started seeing previews, and I was like, it looks kind of good, but it's still, there's no way that this is going to be a good movie. And now it is one of my favorites of all time. I watched it.
I had that experience too with the sequel, because I was like, there's no way that this could ever be as good as the best Marvel movie ever made. So I'm going to lower my expectations. And then it turned out to be even better, like an order of magnitude better.
It was really good. So they have done a good job of that. So I'm waiting to see what they slap me in the face with their new upcoming model of what they're releasing, because they gotta have new characters, new blood, new story, new art going on. So I'm waiting to see what they surprise me with, because honestly, I didn't think they were going to pull off a lot that they have done so successfully. It's just it's
consistently
historical.
Successful. That's there's something in their magic sauce that, because that's really hard to do once. Try doing it consistently.
Like 22, 23 movies. They're doing it right. They have it down to a science, and it baffles me that DC still sits there floundering half the time trying to figure out how to replicate this for themselves. When you have a very let's talk about future state for a second. Let's just do this. This is DC. The DC new line of stories coming out for the comics is basically, if you've ever read any of the Marvel's Old Man stuff, this is what we're getting from DC now, is Old Man DC. So you'll have Superman as an elderly person, but then his grandchildren are the ones running around being either Blue Lanterns or Superboy or Superman. You'll have Batman completely retired and being pushed forward with a new Batman. The future state is like this new wave that they're releasing to see if they can, I guess, shock us into reading some new stories. And I'm willing to try them as long as they do a good job and convince me why the change was necessary. I don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, they're not changing. They're just kind of like almost like what if, right? They're not like necessarily canon. I was approaching it like these are going to be interesting stories, and I wouldn't mind reading them.
They are canon.
They're completely canon, yeah.
Well, I could be on
like Batman
just as
Beyond
easily.
was the canon future, but now we've got a new canon future that wipes out Batman Beyond.
Yeah, so like that's just proves
Or
the
goes
point that
beyond Beyond.
anything that's canon can be uncanonized in an instant. So like, don't worry about it. If it
Yeah,
doesn't work
because
out, they'll
DC,
just
they
undo
can
it.
completely take it away from you anytime they want to.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
the future state, it's kind of confusing because I thought it was just going to be set during just one period of time, but apparently it's the future, like in several different time points. Is what I'm finding
that
out.
sounds interesting to
Very
me.
confusing. It could be very interesting.
I'm intrigued. I'm going to say I'm intrigued.
Because I mean, like the Superman thing, like where he was an old man, but then again, you have the one where he was traveling, space and looked like he was on, planet Superman, basically, or World War Superman.
Right.
I don't know. And then you have the House of L, which it looks like he's like, oh wow, he has a house and like he has a lineage. He has like his children and grandchildren there, and some adopted few as well. One of them was one of the Starfire's people. I keep forgetting what their race is named.
Tamarain.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But yes, she's one of them. And I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, I'll give them that. And now they just dropped another one, like to where it looked like Superman and Batman stopped being friends. And I'm just like, again?
Yeah. So that's all I've got to say about that. DC they seem to have a problem with consistency. They seem to have a problem with figuring out what it is that people want us to read, but they have such a base, small group to tell stories about, realistically.
They should like lean into their inconsistency. Like just every month, new story. Does that
just go wacky with it and have fun?
Yeah. Have like just an assortment of miniseries. It seems like in some ways they are doing that, but their problem is trying to tie that to some sort of established canon. Like, the Three Jokers story is an interesting idea. Why do you have to tie it to like canon? Why can't it just be a standalone? In fact, just everything. You have an interesting idea for Batman? Yeah, let's do it. Robot Batman from the future, whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as you're true to the core and ideals of the character, I think, then, you don't have to do everything Marvel does. I think that's part of their mistake is that both cinematically and in comics, they try and replicate what Marvel does. Really, they need to forge their own path.
Yeah.
Don't
copy them. They've already done it, and they've done it perfectly.
Well, yeah, and they don't know how to copy them. So it's honestly, if they're going to keep doing it so poorly, they need to stop.
Yeah, be your own publisher.
I think that's what's starting to happen with their movie stuff. Because, I mean, you have the Batman coming out, which isn't really tied to any of the other continuity.
And the Joker's a good example of that, too. And it was highly successful.
And they're talking about how everything is connected, but not really.
I think that's
everything's in the multiverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the multiverse. But
it's in a multiverse. So, like,
everything happens for the 1980s, and Crisis on Infinite Earths coming along to give us a multiversal concept just to explain their inconsistency for decades. But nonetheless, we've also got some great toy news coming out. Hasbro has released images for their upcoming waves. Now, there is a Build-A-Figure Stiltman. Could care less, in my personal opinion. Why would you think Stiltman was a good idea? No, I'm not. I'm not down. But the House of X wave that they're releasing looks pristine with Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Magneto. A lot of reissued characters, but an exciting new way to look at them. Now, one of the things that I'm really excited about is getting on my hands on that Thanos figure, because it also has the elderly King Thanos head that goes with it. And realistically, in Marvel, you give me an old man version of something and I'm down. I don't know why it works so well for them. They give me a grizzled old Clint Eastwood version of a character and I love it. But yeah, check those out. Look them up on your local Google Drive, or check it out on Amazon,
I'll
or
look 'em
wherever
up.
you got to find your information.
Yeah.
from.
And they also got some Bad Batch figures coming out for the Black Series for Star Wars as well.
So, and again,
look
Todd
awesome.
McFarlane's still running his Kickstarter for Spawn.
Yes.
Should be releasing soon. So I'll be excited to see the first images of
Yes.
an actual received figure to see how well it's produced.
And we will be doing an unboxing here as well.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
right. So looking
I'll be
forward
sure
to
to
that.
tune in.
And we're going to go ahead and cut to a commercial break real quick. And when we come back, we're going to tell you more things we're thankful about in this Thanksgiving season, and continue to have a blessed year. Even when you think it's bad, you're still kicking, so it's pretty good. And don't forget to join us right back here and find out what else we're going to get into.
Hello everybody, this is Dan once again coming back just to let you know a little bit about what we've been up to. We still have our Facebook page at facebook.com/turnthepage-show, or you can now find us on our website at SaturdayNightGaming LLC.com/turn-the-page. So you should go ahead and check that out over there. We have links to our most recent episode. We have links to the shop. We have links to what's going on with Saturday Night Gaming as a larger company. And you can check all of that out over there at SaturdayNightGamingLLC.com. And now we're back to the show.
And welcome back. This is another thrilling episode of Turn the Page, special edition. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And we are going to be going over a few things that we personally are thankful for today. We're going to go about this in as orderly a function as I can think of. We'll start out with John McClay. I'll actually give him the talking stick and let him tell us all about the VR systems he's thankful for, or whatever
geez.
else he wants to.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was going to say like friends and family, but that is a good segue into why I'm thankful for VR, because it allows me to hang out with my friends and my family while still keeping my distance during this COVID time. But yeah, VR has never been a better time to buy it. One of the best VR headsets for newbies. If you've never gotten into VR, I would recommend the Quest 2. It's at the low price of $299 at the moment, and it does not require a computer. It's all in the headset, and it's been a joy. I got one literally the day after it came out. I had previously the Quest 1, and this is a nice little upgrade for less than I paid for the Quest 1.
Now, talk to me about this as if I know nothing about VR. Is this similar to the Oculus system, or?
Well, virtual reality is what VR stands for, and basically what you have is a headset. I got one over here. If you guys want to see it, I can just scoot over there. Arms aren't long enough. I have to get up. I'm gonna do it. Hold right here. One second. You guys talk amongst yourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves. Let's get off of clubs. Ronnie, tell me a few of the things that you're thankful for this year.
This year.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, never mind, Ronnie.
This right here.
All right, so let's see it. Let's see this thing.
All right. So this right here is the Oculus Quest 2. I have the Elite strap on it. So this strap is extra. It's got ratcheting here. It makes for a better fit, but the strap that comes with it is just fine. This is slightly better. But this is all you need. Everything is contained within here. If you have glasses, I've had no problem with my glasses.
Now, you wear your glasses in it? Do you even need your glasses in it?
Well, I would if I hadn't bought these little lens adapters. So I got some 3D printed lens adapters that I put some cheap prescription lenses in. And then I just there's a little clip here and you can just clip it right on. I can go into more depth later, but it was super easy for me to do. And so when I put this on, I take my glasses off, but you can wear glasses with it. It comes with a glasses adapter. to where you can just like it set it, it puts
I
the
just
face.
feel like, well, isn't it? I mean, it's right up on you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess if you're farsighted, then you would need to wear your glasses.
Well, yeah, like if you can't see like beyond like, your outstretched arm, then you should probably, if you wear glasses with this. If you can see up to your outstretched arm but no further, you might actually not need to wear glasses with this. So like the way the depth works in this, you have stereoscopic vision, things are far away, look like they're far away. But you're actually focusing on a single plane, and that plane is about a meter away from you. So if you can see up to a meter, then you probably don't need to wear your glasses with this. But I can't. I'm horribly, horribly blind. So I need some sort of like, optical like augmentation to play it. But I think it's a wonderful play. There's tons of content. Like I was mentioning earlier, I can watch movies with my friends. Me and my friend Sean hang out every now and then and get a flick in. And it's a virtual theater. It's on a big screen. It looks like it's like a theater experience. There's just no popcorn unless you make it. But yeah, I think that this would be a good purchase for those looking to kind of.
You said they were having digital comics coming to it as well.
Yeah, they're not the big publishers, at least not yet. And I don't know if that'll ever happen, but like it is a interesting place for independents to test out the waters and maybe gain an audience as well for people who are hungry for VR content. There is one that's released. It's been released on the official Oculus store. Let me see if I get the name for it. I have it right here. It's called Sphere Tune. And it's like kind of like a manga type of story. The style of it is more of a manga. And there's a ton of stuff on SideQuest, which that's a whole discussion there, what SideQuest is. But it's a way of loading on software that's not officially supported by the Oculus store. But there's tons of comics I've read in there. And every one I've downloaded has tried a different method because this is new. No one's ever really done this before. But
and
think
this
of it
is
more
like
like
you sharing more time, like you were saying, with your friends and your family.
Yeah. Well, not the comic part. That's more of a solitary thing. But there's tons of like chat apps. I can play golf with my friends. There's a military combat game I play a lot that I really enjoy, and it's interesting because I usually think of myself as socially awkward, and apparently I'm not. Compared to other people in VR, I actually enjoy like hanging out with strangers in VR, and I don't feel that anxiety as much as I do in real life. So it actually is
really cool because you're talking about this and just thinking about how to merge in, either hanging out with new people or presenting yourself to your friends and your family for group events or whatever. And then also just my brain, when you said digital comics, how cool it would be if it got to the point to where, you have a character for yourself, almost like D&D or anything else.
Oh, yeah.
And you just load into your character, your friends and family load into their characters.
Well, they have that.
Oh, really?
Well, like, I can't remember the name of it, but there's like a pseudo official like avatar, like, I can't think of the word for it, but a way of making avatars that's a uniform.
And then go on a different adventure every week. Like, hey,
like
man,
now with
and it's like, John, we got to go do that thing where we
with the Oculus Quest, you probably can't do that custom kind of like if you want to look like Batman or something like that. You can do it with the PC with a app called VR Chat. You can make your own custom avatar. In fact, you can buy custom made avatars. There's artists that are making avatars for people, and they're not super cheap. I've seen them run from 40 to like $80, but they're custom, like if you want to look a certain way and you describe how you want to look, they'll make the avatar for you. Then you can
these guys and let them know that you are John the Red.
All right.
Itchy eyes, and you need to look that way every time you log into something.
All right.
That's great. I like that. Let's go ahead and stow that for a second. Ronnie, what is it that you're thankful for this year? This time I'll actually let you tell me.
Okay, I get to say something now.
No, it's real. Tell me.
Definitely God, and second, my wife and the furry children. I love my little cats. They're awesome. And my wife, this year would have really sucked if I didn't have her. And of course, you guys, family and friends and everybody. I'm super thankful for all that stuff. People, sorry, my mind is bleh. But
You finally got a Kingpin action figure too, right?
yes, finally got a Kingpin action figure now for all the nerdy things that I'm super thankful for. Where is it?
I like how I've invited everybody to a show where they can like reach around and show off some of their stuff.
Ooh, yes.
The PlayStation 4+1. How's that going so far? I heard you downloaded 2 games now. You got the Miles Morales Spider-Man 1.5 going on and Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, they're both really, really good. So Valhalla I played a day before on the Pro before I got the 5 just to see what the difference was. And it's astounding. I mean, the frame rates are just incredible. So on the PlayStation 4 Pro, it moves 30 frames per second. On the 5, it's 60 frames per second. Pretty much what PCs have already been capable of and already doing. But just to see that on a home console with something that looks that gorgeous was just amazing. I mean, everything looks fluid. It's those are how video games are supposed to move. Like they're supposed to have like the same frame rate as like say. Okay, Tony, this is the way to explain it to you. So, video games running at 60 frames per second. That's basically like watching a soap opera.
Okay.
It has that type of motion where it's fluid. It's 1-1. Everything's moving in real time. Now, 30 frames per second would be like you're going to the theater and watching a movie. That's 30 frames per second. It's that difference
It's
of motion.
interesting that you put it that way because that's a difference in stylistic choice.
It feels different, definitely feels different. And if you're playing a competitive game, like the frame rate really matters.
Oh God, yeah. If you're playing Call of Duty, one person's at 30 frames per second and the other one's at 60 FPS. 60 FPS is gonna like murder you every time. Also, now I say this, but in like how you were saying, it's like an artistic choice. This is where I turn back to Miles Morales. Now you can play it at 60 FPS, but if you do, you lose some of the ray tracing and stuff like that. It's it looks almost like you're playing it on the still looks better than the Pro, but because you're at 60 frames per second, but the ray tracing is down to like just 1 meter square in the game. So like where you see like some reflections, but not everything's reflected. Now, if you play it at 30 frames per second, the other mode, the game is just super gorgeous. All the visuals pop. It is amazing.
Well, I'm definitely interested to see what it looks like. Obviously, I don't get these things brand new as they're released. I wait to see if they explode first. Because growing up in the era that I grew up in, you know, you get a console, it burns your house down. So I'm just waiting to see.
Yeah.
You are my guinea pig. Thank you for doing these things.
You're
for
welcome.
Me. But you know what? And personally, what I'm thankful for, you know, everybody said friends, family. I got married this year, so I have a new wife. She's beautiful. She's brilliant. She's amazing. She puts up with me. I've got the kids, so they're great when they're out of trouble and when they're not screaming right in my face, but they're amazing even when they're doing those things. We recently got a car, now not a real car, but a little plastic car for the baby. Now, this is probably one of the most fascinating things to watch because he gets in the thing, pushes it up to the TV, and it looks like a kid sitting at a drive-in movie theater. So
You should take a
we
picture of
currently finished the entire MCU run in chronological order, and now we are starting on a release order of DC movies, which we started off with Donner's the Superman the movie, obviously starring Christopher Reeve. Just really good. It's always fascinating to go back and watch some of those things, and especially to have a family, a wife and kids that are willing to watch those sorts of things with me and put in their own 2 cents on what they see that's interesting about it, what they enjoy about it. And of course, Jackson's still just sitting there headbanging to John Williams because it's apparently his favorite musician in the world. So
Awesome.
that's a lot of fun. It's a lot of stuff that I have to be thankful for this year. Heavenscape, with our Saturday Night Gaming affiliate, has taken off. We've gotten Kickstarter completely funded and gone double our goal. So that means we're even talking into stretch goals now. So that is excellent news, something to be extremely thankful for and to keep your eyes open for moving into the next year as we release these things for the mass public consumption. Obviously, I've got my own outerwear from characters from Heavenscape. So if you want to check out any of that stuff, we can make pretty much any image you want to. If you have a favorite Heavenscape character, you listen to our podcast, you want to write us, send us a message. I will personally design you a t-shirt and we'll work that out. But you've got to like, subscribe, you've got to share with your grandmother, and you've got to message us. So do that, and I will get on top of it for you as a holiday gift, whoever you are that I am talking to right now. On top of that, yeah, there's been a whole lot of nerdy fun stuff coming out. You know, me, I am a collector with my OCD put into full force here behind me. This is what I do for fun. It's what I do for stress relief. And Marvel Legends, which is a Hasbro Marvel release, has recently started bringing out the X-Men movies, the Fox Universe movies, into their figures. So Ronnie, thanks again for finding not only Hugh Jackman for me, but also finding the Magneto Professor X and Cable as well.
Yeah, man.
Are excellent additions to my collection, and I probably find myself in here far too often fiddling with them, just making sure they look just right to never move again. But yeah, that's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for a lot of those things. My new house, and just good people to keep seeing. But definitely what I'm looking forward to the most is seeing where we're going with Saturday Night Gaming Productions, our father company, mother company, our affiliate.
Parent company?
Parent company. We don't, I'll have to ask him what kind of pronouns I should use. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where we're going with that, moving into season 2 of Heavenscape as well for our podcast release next year. So if you're a listener, go ahead and keep on listening because it's only going to get more exciting. Putting a lot of planning forth into this, a lot of good writers working all the time, trying to bring you the best stories and narratives. So I think that's really exciting, really fun. It's going to be a good new deal for a good new year. And let's just kick the crud out of this COVID crumb that we've gotten ourselves into with just devoting ourselves to what it is we're good at and what it is we enjoy. This is the time where we can take a pause off of the normal rigmarole and try to find out what it is that actually makes us tick and keep moving forward. So even in a weird, morbid way, I'm a little thankful for the pandemic. Not obviously the bad things that it's done, but for the good things that it's shown us about ourselves through some self-containment and some alone time. We basically all got put in timeout and we got to rethink what it was that we are about, who we are, and what we want to do moving forward. So I think that it's a blessing in disguise. And people can hate me for it or they can love me for it, but send me a message about it. Let me know what you think about it out there, Turn the Page viewing audience. But on top of that, we're happy to keep on coming back. I think I speak for all of us to continue to try and entertain and educate you and inspire you to think in new ways. I always enjoy having my good friend John McClay here because I wouldn't think of half the things that he has devoted a lot of thought and energy to and can educate me on. And as always, Ronnie Shanks, constantly aware of what's coming up. So my right hemisphere brain pan and my left hemisphere brain pan going at full force here, artistic and scientific. Love you guys. And as always,
Love you too, man.
The technical digital malfunction department, big call out to Dan Stevens and all the hard work that he does to get us produced, put together, edited, and dropped on time every single week. This man has a real job too. So the sleep function, he doesn't do a whole lot of. So always applaud him and send your love to him because he is working hard and working overtime on something he didn't know he was going to be that committed to in the first place. But we love him and we enjoy having him. Round of applause for the big guy behind the screen. Don't look for the man behind the curtain. All right. So, any last words before we head out, guys?
I don't know. Just be safe out there and take care. Have a good holiday.
Do what you need to do, right?
Buy VR headset. Hang out with me.
Join me in all of the VR realm. That's cool. All right.
Be safe. Remember, retail workers are people too.
Yes, they are the majority of the people actually in America. We are just a retail society, but maybe we'll see how we're going forward in the future. Maybe some new industry can happen. Maybe some new jobs are opening up. We shall see. It will be an exciting future as always. And if not, we will plug into VR and join John. Until next time, be safe, be good, and love each other. And don't forget to give hugs when you're in person, because we do need that physical contact in life and reassurance.
Stay 6 feet away from each other when you do it.
Yes, 6 foot hugs, unless no one's looking and you're wearing enough mask. Then definitely hug each other and give a good old pat on the back. Let it become an awkward long hug until you have to keep patting to let the person know, let go of me. But everybody should start hugging each other more safely with the proper PPE. So look that up for your local region. Find out what kind of mask, rubber glove you need in order to give a hug. Until next time, though, this is Tony Stevens, your star power, and the Turn the Page crew signing out for another great year. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, we'll be loving you.
In a long and lonely desert east of Nairobi, there were some pyramids standing there. Who knows what formation they were in? Then a hero named Hydro walked in and he said, "Here I am in the sand again. Here I am, up on the pyramid. There's some light near. I don't know where it is, but here I am. Turn the page. Take it, Danny. Bum, dum, tsh, dum, 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 tsh. Unless we're SNG, cause it's Saturday. Playing a game, got dice on the table. Scott's gonna tell you if you're able. Your character dies, gotta re-roll. That's how it goes when you play with us. It's SNG on Saturday. War watch Turn the Page. You must do it. Watch it. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Drink coffee, 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 and watch Turn the Page.